Welcome back, everybody. In the last episode, we turned application one into a production web server and deployed our first internal portal. Now, right now, our server is ready, but we don't have a workstation to access it. And today, we're going to change that. By the end of this episode, we're going to have a fully functioning Windows workstation connected to our enterprise network. So let's go ahead and get started. Before we get started, I do want to mention one important update. So while building this episode, I discovered that the latest VirtualBox, the 7.2 release, it was producing a black screen whenever I was trying to boot the Windows 11 Enterprise Evaluation Installer. And so after I tested the exact same Windows ISO with the previous VirtualBox release, 7.18, the installation completed successfully. So for the remainder of the series, I'll be using VirtualBox 7.1.8 to ensure everyone following along has the same experience. So I'm gonna show y'all where to find that. I'm gonna put this link in the description so you guys have it. But here's the link, and here's a version I downloaded right here, the .exe. So I downloaded that. And just to show y'all, in the settings, I went to apps and installed apps. So before this said 7.2.14, I believe. So all I did was I just uninstalled that version, and then I installed the 7.18, and that's what I'm running on right now. So before we create Workstation 1, we need the Windows installation media. So for this lab, we'll use the official Windows 11 Enterprise Evaluation ISO provided by Microsoft. So I'll put the link in the description again. So we're gonna go here. We're gonna go to download the ISO Windows 11 Enterprise, not LTSC. And then we're gonna fill this information out right here. And then we're gonna download this version right here, this 64-bit edition. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit download, and you'll see it starts downloading up here. The download is gonna take a minute. So once it finishes downloading, we'll go ahead and get to creating Workstation 1 on VirtualBox. Okay, so the ISO finished downloading, and so I got VirtualBox open. So the first step is creating our Windows workstation. And so we're gonna build a new virtual machine that will eventually become the primary workstation for our enterprise environment. So we'll go ahead and get started with that. We're gonna click new up here, and I'm gonna name this workstation Workstation 1. And then I'm gonna go to the ISO image that I downloaded. It's gonna be here in that folder that I showed y'all in the previous episode. So I'm gonna attach that, and I'm gonna check this box, skip unintended installation. And so we'll go straight here to the hardware section. And so for this, I wanna do 4 gigabytes of memory, which you already see here. For CPU, I put 2. And then I checked this box right here, enable EFI. So make sure you have that checked as well. And for the hard disk, I'm gonna change this from 80 to 64. Okay, and so we're gonna hit finish here. And before we configure any IP addresses, one thing we do wanna do, I want both virtual machines, they're gonna need a second network adapter. So adapter 1 will continue providing internet access through NAT, which you already have configured in these. The second network adapter will connect application 1 and workstation 1 to our private host network. And so I'm gonna show y'all how to do that. So I've already selected workstation 1, so we're gonna go to settings. And we're gonna go to network, and we're gonna go adapter 2, and we're gonna hit enable network adapter, and we're gonna choose host only adapter. All this can stay the same, and we're gonna click OK. And we're gonna do the same for application 1 server. So we're gonna go to settings, we're gonna go network, adapter 2, I'm gonna check this off. And this is one's already on host only adapter, but you're gonna choose the same thing for this one as well, and click OK. And so that second adapter creates a dedicated internal path between our virtual machines without placing the lab directly on our home network. So now that we have the virtual hardware in place, we can configure the operating systems. Okay, so now it's time to install Windows. So since we're using the official Windows 11 Enterprise Evaluation ISO, the installation process is straightforward and it doesn't require a product key. So we're going to go ahead and start Workstation 1. Okay, so here we're going to hit enter, just hit any key. All right, so here's the first page that you should see. I'm just going to hit next here. Keyboard settings, US, next. Here, I'm going to keep it on install Windows 11, and I'm going to check this box off, and then I'm going to hit next. And so we're going to accept this Microsoft license agreement. So we'll go ahead and hit accept. And we're going to select the unallocated virtual hard disk. So it's already selected here, so we'll just hit next. And then we'll go ahead and hit install. And so this may take a minute, but once it's done, we'll go ahead and move forward. Okay, guys, so with the Windows installed, we'll complete the initial setup and create our local administrator account. So for this lab, we'll use a local account instead of connecting the workstation to a Microsoft organization. So let's just go through the setup. So here, United States, I'm gonna click yes. All right, so for the keyboard layout, I'm gonna go with US again. So I'm gonna click yes. Do I want to add a second keyboard layout? I'm gonna skip that. Okay, guys, so this is gonna check for updates. So this may take a second. Okay, guys, so the update's finished. Like I said earlier, we're gonna use a local account instead of connecting the workstation to a Microsoft organization. So what we're gonna do when you get to this page, you're gonna go to sign in options and you're gonna choose domain join instead. And so you're gonna create a username here. For mine, I'm gonna choose lab admin. I'm gonna click next, and then I'm gonna do password. All right, so we're gonna click next. It's gonna ask you to confirm. So after that, you're gonna answer some security questions. So I'm gonna skip this part. You guys answer the security questions on your end, and then we'll join back once we finish that part. Okay, guys, so after you finish the security questions, it should have brought you to this page. For all of these, I'm just gonna uncheck every single one. So I'm gonna go through, uncheck everything. And after that, I'm gonna click accept. Okay, guys, so here it's getting started up. So we're just gonna give it a second. Okay, guys, so now that the setup is complete, we'll go ahead and move into preparing the workstation. Okay, so before we connect Workstation 1 to our enterprise network, let's finish preparing the workstation. So the first thing we'll do is rename the computer. So even though VirtualBox already knows this is machine, knows this machine as Workstation 1, Windows has its own computer name that is used on a network. So those are two separate settings. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the settings in the Workstation 1. All right. So right here, you see the rename. You're just going to click that. And we're going to name this Workstation 1. We're going to click Next. And it's going to ask us or tell us that it needs a reboot. And we're just going to go ahead and do reboot now. So go ahead and hit restart now. Okay, so now that both virtual machines are ready, it's time to connect them to our private enterprise network. So both Application01 and Workstation1 have two network adapters. The first provides internet access through NAT, and then the second is a host-only network that allows our virtual machines to communicate directly with each other. And so now what we're going to do, we're going to configure the static IP address on the host-only adapters so that both systems always know where to find each other. So I'm going to go ahead and power up Application1 Workstation, and then we'll go ahead and get started. So we're going to go ahead and log in. Okay, and the first command I want to run is IP address. So two things I want y'all to write down, take a note of, is you see one here, then two, this MAC address right here that starts off with 802777B7B2. So on yours, it's going to look different, but I want you to take note of that, write that down somewhere. And then the next thing I want you to take note of is here on 3, this IP address right here. Mine says 192.168.56.10. Yours might say the same. Either way, take note of that. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do, we're going to run up here. We're going to run ls net plan. And we're going to take note of this configuration file name right here. And so what we're going to do, we're going to open that. So we're going to do that by running sudo nano net plan. And my configuration file starts off with 2 zeros. So I'm just going to do 2 zeros there and then hit tab, enter. It's going to ask for your password, enter your password, hit enter. And then here I'm going to, yes, I'm going to open that up. Okay. And so a little bit earlier, I came through and edited this file. So yours is going to look a little different. So one thing, a couple things you got to add is that MAC address and your IP address right there you see on mine. So when you guys are editing this, make sure that everything looks exactly the same. Everything is spaced out exactly the same. You're going to want yours to look just like this, but with your own MAC address. If your IP address is the same, leave it the same as this one. If it's different, just change to yours. But make sure the spacing is exactly correct, like you see here on the screen. So if you want to take a minute and pause this, just so you can see, go ahead and take note of that, do it on your end. And then once you're done, you're going to hit Control-O to save it. And then you're going to do Control-X to exit out. Okay. So once you guys do that, we'll come back and do the next step. Okay, guys. So after you've done that, the next command that we're going to do before applying the configuration, we're going to test it first. So we're going to run sudo netplan try. And we're going to hit enter. And then we're going to do sudo netplan apply. Okay. Okay, so last command I want to run in the Application1 server is IP route. Okay, so Application1 now has 2 separate network paths. And so our NAT adapter handles the internet access, and our host only adapter gives Application01 a predictable address on the enterprise network. So now that we did this, we're going to go ahead and configure the other side of the connection, Workstation 1. Okay, guys, so I have Workstation 1 here. So we're gonna go ahead and log in. Okay, guys, so now that we're inside the workstation, the first thing you want to do is hit the Windows key and R. And this command right here, you're going to run this ncpa.cpl. Hit enter. And what we're going to do, we're going to want to edit this Ethernet 2 adapter. So I'm just going to right click this and go to properties. And then what we're going to do, we're going to click here on Internet Protocol. So I'm just going to double click that. And I'm going to click use the following IP address. So we're going to fill this out with the IP address 192.168.56.20. And everything else we're going to leave blank here. And we're just going to click OK. We're going to hit OK. Okay, so I'm going to exit out of this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for the command prompt. So I'm just going to type in CMD. And I'm going to run ipconfig. All right. So let's see here. Okay, so we see our IP address here and our subnet mask. And so what we're going to try to do, we're going to try to ping Application01 server. So let's go ahead and do that. Make sure it's successful. 192.168.56.10. Okay, so the request is timing out. Okay, so let's see something. So actually, I believe the reason that it didn't work was because I have the server off. So we actually need to turn that on. So let's turn that on real quick and then we'll try it again. Okay, guys, so my Application01 server is now on. So what I'm gonna try to do is go back and do the same thing again and ping Application01 and see if it comes up. So let's just give this a second. And we're gonna run that same command. And there we go. So you see now it can communicate with application server 1. So when you're doing this, just make sure that both servers are running. The first time I did it, application 1 was off. This time I turn it on and now it can communicate with it. So now we confirm that the two machines can communicate with each other. Okay, guys, so with network connectivity confirmed, it's time to access our application. So Workstation or Application 1, we have Apache running. So what I want to do is open up Microsoft Edge, and the internal portal that we set up earlier, I want to see if we can access that. So it's gonna go through those. Okay, so this is what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna run, and we should see that index that we edited once we run this. So we'll see if it works. Okay, so that's what we wanted to see right here. BridgeOpsOne internal portal. So if you guys remember that index we edited earlier in the episode, this is what we wanted to see right here. And so back in episode 3, we verified Apache locally from APP01. Today, we've done something completely different. And so we've successfully deployed a Windows workstation, connected it to our enterprise network, and established our first client to server communication. So now this is no longer just a Linux server, it's a foundation of a functioning enterprise environment. And so in the next episode, we'll be monitoring this environment in real time and see how enterprise operation teams detect and respond to service outages. And so thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.